This station is intended to show you how to do a urine dipstick test and as well to measure the specific gravity of urine. You want to start by putting gloves on, which I already have on here. This is your urine sample, which has been collected into a plain pot without any sort of additives, no anticoagulant or anything. These are the dipsticks. They're little strips of paper that have colored pads on them, and they are used to measure things like pH, glucose levels, whether or not there's blood present in the urine. And lastly, to measure the specific gravity, we're going to use a refractometer. So the first thing we'll do is the dipstick. You take your urine sample and one of these little strips of paper. Okay, these are light sensitive, so you have to keep the lid on fairly tightly. So this is what they look like. Most of them are white, but they will change color depending on what's found in the urine. There are two ways of getting the urine onto one of these. One, you can actually dip the whole stick into the urine, part of the urine sample that you've decanted. The other thing that you can do is to just use a little pipette and take a little bit of urine off, and usually this is done over the sink, and then just run it down the surface of the dipstick. Once that's done, you can drip off the excess, and you allow it to sit for about a minute. You can either check your watch, or if you have a timer, you can use that. And then once a minute is up, you compare the colors to the color on the back, the chart on the back of the chem strip bottle. So in this particular case, if you look at this particular urine, this is the pH, so the pH is about 5, and you can see that this green stick corresponds to a fairly high level of glucose in the urine, so over 4+. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is just measure the specific gravity of urine using a handheld refractometer, which is one of these things. It has a little chamber at the front, and it has a button here for adjusting the level in it and calibrating it. And what you do is you hold it up to the light and look through the opposite end, and it gives a chart at the front that tells you the specific gravity. The first thing you want to do is to start by calibrating it or making sure it's properly calibrated, and that's done using distilled water. Okay, so you put a little bit of water into the blue chamber, close the lid, and you hold it up to the light, and the level in there should come to 1 on the right-handed scale, which is the one that says UG on it, so it should be at 1. If it's not at 1, you adjust the level using this metal button at the top. Once you're satisfied that the refractometer has been calibrated or properly calibrated, you can wipe off the water with tissue, and then you can apply urine. Again, we're going to use a small pipette to put a little bit of urine in the blue chamber. Just a couple of drops is good enough. Again, you close the little chamber and hold it up to the light. And in this particular case, again, reading off the right-hand sided scale where it says UG, the specific gravity is 1.020. So in other words, 1020. Once you're finished with that, you clean it off with water and dry the refractometer off, and you replace it back in its case.